Good morning. It's 8:15 on Saturday, April 5th. Just leaving Tri-Corner Knob Shelter and heading to Davenport Gap Shelter, which is 14.6 miles away. We have about 2,500 feet of elevation gain today, which is less than what we've had over the last few days. And we have like 5,800 feet of going down. I'm at a loss for words right now, but we're going to be going down quite a bit today towards the end. And that gets us within 3 miles of departing the Smoky Mountains. It's cold and breezy at the moment. Hopefully it warms up. The rain is coming again tomorrow. So it's going to be like 3 inches, I guess, in a short amount of time. We're choosing to duck out of the rain and go into a small community and stay overnight and miss the rain. And believe it or not, I'm eating a lot more now, so I already need to resupply some food. So it'll give us a chance to do that. But it's gonna be more rain than last time where I shared the video, and I just don't want to deal with that. So I'm trying to stay warm and comfortable. Anyway, it should be a good day. Currently on a climb. All right, see you shortly. I'm currently on a ridge. I'll try to talk loud. The breeze is really moving up here. It looks like it's trying to get sunny. There's a valley out there. It's hard to see. A lot of clouds in the sky. It's not supposed to rain today. You know, it's nice out here, but it'd be so much nicer and more comfortable if it wasn't so darn breezy. And it seems to be breezy every day, like 25, 35 mile an hour winds. And it's not a huge deal, but it definitely makes it less comfortable. So it'd be nice just to have a lesser breeze so that we didn't have to deal with this all the time. It seems like every single day. And from talking to people who live in the area, they say it's abnormal to have such breezy days like this just consecutively. Usually they have them, but not for so long. So yeah, anyway, I thought this was a pretty part of the forest, so I wanted to share it with you. I'm going to be starting a climb here real soon, and there will be a few ups and downs before finally we get to a point where it's going to be all down coming out of the Smoky Mountains, but basically no different than any other day. Here's an example of like a blowdown. Yesterday we encountered about 25 of these. Most of them were big, and you had to find a way around them, crawling around them, going underneath them, whatever you could do to get around them. There was a ridge runner that works for the Smoky Mountains, a young kid out yesterday with a handsaw, not so much as chopping the trees in half and clearing the trail that way, but cutting like little branches off so they would be easier to crawl over, and also probably marking the locations of the trees so that people could come out with chainsaws or bigger saws to take them out, or at least remove the part that was blocking the trail. But that might take a week or two before they do that. Anyway, just plugging along, getting my morning started. It's gonna be a long day of walking, so here we go. I know my last video was fairly similar to this one, but it's just too pretty up here not to show this. This is the direction I'm heading. It's somewhat flat with a slight rise right now, so not bad for walking. But it's just heavily wooded and a bit different than we saw 2 to 3 weeks ago, you know. Spring's coming, or spring's here, and the leaves are starting to green up a lot, and there's moss everywhere. It's so beautiful in here. It's amazing. And then the footpath at the moment is nice and cushy on our feet. The breeze was kicking a while ago and the trees were really swaying, but I guess I hit either a lull in the breeze or I'm on the leeward side of this mountain. I think I made it up the first climb of, I think, 3 or 4 today. So we're about 700 foot elevation gain so far. And I think we had like 2,000. So it shouldn't be too bad. I know that I shoot numbers at you throughout my videos and they change all the time. Honestly, I'm not looking at my map to verify the numbers. I just know it's in and around that number. So I apologize for that. Not the facts, just kind of what I'm guessing based on what I briefly looked at when I looked at the map. I don't always look at the map. I typically look for the white blazes on the trees. And if I don't see a blaze after a while, then I'll go to my map and just check that I'm on the right path. But usually when I do that, I see a blaze on the tree like a minute later. So it always works out that way. But man, such a beautiful morning. Again, rain is coming tomorrow, so that's going to change things, but I think it's only tomorrow. And then we're going to have some really good days ahead of us. So it's going to get really cold in the 30s and 40s during the day, in the 20s at night for 2 or 3 nights. I think we're going to be far enough past that though, past the Smoky Mountains, where it will be 5 or 10 degrees cool or warmer where we are. At least that's what I hope. Heading towards Hot Springs after tomorrow, and that's where Hurricane Helene really devastated the community. I understand it's coming back slowly, so it'll be interesting to see how much progress has been made. There used to be a lot of different resources to support hikers there. They're somewhat limited now, so that might affect us in some way. We'll have to find out when we get there, I guess. And then further on up, so Hot Springs is North Carolina, by the way, but further on up is going to be Erwin, Tennessee. And likewise, they were hit pretty hard by that hurricane. And I understand that they're coming back slowly as well. So it'll be interesting to see how they're doing. And hopefully all is well for the people that are there now that are trying to make it again. So, you know, every day I'm climbing these steep mountains, I always think to myself that there are people going through a lot of bad things in the world. And just to be walking all day long, it doesn't take a lot of effort. It doesn't take a lot of brain power. But, you know, it is still a struggle. So I'm enjoying myself and just the beauty of nature, obviously. I mean, look at that. And my hope is that as we go north, there's gonna be all these cool new features I'll be able to share with you. Like for instance, today, I'll be coming across a helicopter pad of all things in the next mile or so. And then later, there's an old Air Force jet crash site. Back in, I think, 1984, there was a crash. And I think they left the wreckage up there. I don't know how far off the trail it is, if it's on the trail. But if it's on the trail, I'll take a few minutes to share that with you. So here we go. I am 3 miles in to today's hike on the backside of the Smoky Mountains, where they said there was extensive damage from Hurricane Helene. I didn't believe it at first, but I guess here's evidence of it. First signs of all the downed trees. Now people have been through here clearing this away, obviously, otherwise you wouldn't be able to pass through as a hiker. But this is crazy. And I know there's more of this to come when we get up towards Hot Springs, Erwin, Tennessee, I think Southern Virginia. But yeah, I haven't seen anything like this before. This is the trail. So it's a lot of dodging, crawling under, going over. There's a gentleman in front of me doing the same thing I'm doing. But I think this is just a short stretch of it. But the tops of all these trees are gone. And yeah, thankfully, the maintainers came through and did a little bit, made it accessible so you could get through. But there's still some climbing and dodging to do. So, Gretel's making his way over a blowdown here. And I'll follow his method of getting through. It's about 10:20 a.m. According to the maps we use online, we should have come across the plane crash site. Unfortunately, Gretel and I couldn't find any signs of it, so our guess is that it was off the trail and in the general area. We didn't take a lot of time looking for it. I'm sorry I wasn't able to share that. I know there are 2 or 3 other plane crash sites along the Appalachian Trail, and I don't know if we'll come across those on the trail or not, but it wouldn't be today. It'd be a lot further up on the trail. But anyway, I thought I'd share with you the fact that we just couldn't find it. And so we're gonna just plug along, try to make our distance. Rain's coming in tonight and tomorrow, so we definitely want to get ourselves into a position where we're not gonna get overly wet and try to keep ourselves comfortable. But we're on our way. It's 11:04, and I just came across this hazard. I'll be able to work my way around because there's a workaround. But this is a down tree. That's where the trail goes. That's not necessarily what I want you to see though. It's a huge down tree, but this is a root ball of another tree. So this tree right here fell as well. and that would have been the root ball of it. Just imagine, or maybe it's a root ball of a number of trees, I don't know. And it just kind of all went over together, but that's just crazy. I'm gonna try to navigate my way around this. It's kind of precarious, tricky, and I'll be safe, but I want you to kind of see I'm walking down these little rocks here, and now on the back side it looks like there's an opening back up to the trail here, but there's obviously other trees down. So yesterday, I may have said it in a previous video, we encountered about 20 trees down on the trail. Today so far, I would say we've encountered probably about 15 or more, maybe more. Today's trees are a little more substantial in terms of how they're occupying the trail and how we're getting around them. Yesterday's were a little easier, but there's debris all over the place here. So this could have been from recent winds, could have been back from the hurricane last year, I don't know. But yeah, I'm sure Park Service struggles to keep up with all of this, but there's still so many trees standing, so thankful for that, and hopeful that none others are weakened enough where they're going to come down anytime soon. But still plugging along, getting ready to maybe take a little stop for lunch, and I'm going to say I'm probably about 7 miles in, so I got about 8 miles left, 8.5. I'm not going really fast today, although the trail's not been too bad. Just kind of taking my time. So anyway, it's really warmed up. I had to go down to t-shirt and shorts, but if there wasn't a breeze, it'd be rough. So thankful for the breeze. Here we go. It's 1 o'clock. We stopped for lunch, Gretel and I. We're back on the trail. We have a huge climb. This is the last big climb of the day, and then it's all downhill. But you can see what we're contending with here. A few things. First off, a lot of blowdowns that we're gonna have to navigate as we climb, but it's also super hot and humid, so this should be fun. We'll see how this goes, but it'll be nice to get to the top of this mess. It's just a long one, so yeah, I guess the only way to do it is to do it, so here we go. Okay, it's gonna be a rough afternoon. This is what we had to go through so far. It was actually easier than it looks, but still a pain in the behind. And there's Gretel going over the next section. And we're going uphill in the heat right now. And it looks like we just have a lot of this to do. So it should be fun. It's gonna be a while. We projected 3.5 hours. Now it's looking like 4.5 hours, if that. So let's see what we can do. It's about 2:35. I've got about 3.5 miles left to get to my shelter. This is a little overlook. Kind of shows you there's a white structure down there. So probably some sort of fire tower, I would imagine, or something. But yeah. There's a big rock in the way here, but it is a hot and humid day. There's a slight breeze. That's where I'm coming from. This is where I'm going. Basically, it's all downhill from here. We're hiking down out of the Great Smoky Mountains. We had to hike up and into the Great Smoky Mountains to get into them, which was steep and no fun. Now we're hiking down to get out, also very steep, and this is probably the nicest part of the trail right here that I've come across. It's rocky, rooty, and wet and slippery, so I have to be careful, but all is well. You know, it's probably about 65 degrees, but the humidity makes it feel so much warmer. And now I have another concern now that that during the summer months it's going to be brutal with humidity and heat, so there's that worry. But then it's crazy because today's weather is so hot and humid, and then tomorrow they're calling for storm and like 2.5 to 3 inches of rain. So it's going to be, these days, they fluctuate so much in weather. It's just crazy. But tomorrow we should be exiting the park. We have 3 miles left after we stop at the shelter tonight. So I guess we're about 6.5 miles from leaving the park, the Great Smoky Mountains. And then we'll be done with it. So anyway, yeah, just making my way. There's a little bit of climbing here, but for the most part, it's downhill. So yeah, I'll see you soon. 4:05, finally making my way down into Davenport Gap Shelter. It was a long day today. I want to say 14.6 or 14.8 miles. I, again, haven't really checked it against the map, but what made it so long actually is how hot and humid it was. It's just so humid today and hot. It's probably only in the 60s, but man, it feels so much hotter. And also all of the downed trees that we had to navigate around in and over and all of that, that made it rough. There's probably about 5 people that got in ahead of me. So this is the last shelter in the Smoky Mountains to the north as you exit the Smoky Mountains. So, you know, there's that potential that people are coming up from the north and heading south and getting in the shelter as well. So who knows how many people are down there at this point. I know of about 5 that were ahead of me that were planning on staying here. They were going the same direction I was. This shelter also is the only remaining shelter that's fenced, meaning there's, I don't know what that means, but I think they have a fence around the outside of it so that bears can't get in. So they still have bear hanging cables, but they encourage people with bear canisters to keep them inside with you instead of outside. So yeah, it has a little porch, but it's definitely fenced. So let me show you what it looks like. Howdy. It's about time I get here. Glad you haven't locked the gate yet. It is 6 o'clock at Davenport Gap Shelter. This one is in Tennessee because it does not have a privy. You have to go to outside. It even points you in the direction that you should go to. The water source obviously is in the opposite direction, thank goodness. And this is our shelter. They have 2 little seats out front, and then they have a fence over the top, so they want you to keep your food inside. So some of us are hanging our food bags from the rafters on the inside just to taunt the bears. And then,
so those are food bags.
Yeah.
Oh,
they will be.
So what are we going to do with this?
You just leave it in there.
Leave it inside.
Yeah. We don't have to hang our food bags. We just did.
Finally. So. Justice.
Water source down there. Dodger's getting his water. It was a good day today. I think we made, what was the mileage? 14.6, 14.8?
15, I had 15.1.
Oh.
GPS.
But this is where we're at. Tomorrow we'll be out of the Smokies and on our way. It's about 7 p.m. and we made it to Davenport Gap Shelter. We've actually been here since probably around 4 p.m. Done all my chores, you know, filled my water, made my dinner, got my bed all ready to go. We're gonna crawl into our sleeping bags here shortly. Today was very, very hot and very, very muggy, which made it a rough hike today. Drank a lot of water, but also there were a lot of trees that were blown down that we had to navigate around, under, and over, which you'll see earlier on in this video. Tomorrow, we're going to be hiking out to the highway 3 miles down, and we'll be out of this Smoky Mountain National Park at that point, and we're heading into Newport for the night because tomorrow there's going to be a lot of rain starting at 7 a.m. and going in, I think, well past afternoon. I think more rain than last time where we shared a video, and I just don't want to deal with that at this point. It was cold, I was miserable, and close to hypothermia, I believe. So we're choosing to duck in for the night. Plus, I'm actually almost out of food, so I have to resupply again already. But we'll get a hotel room, get clean, get dry, and then head out Monday morning and push forward towards Hot Springs, North Carolina. Have a good night, and thanks for following along. Sunny D out.